The Boston Celtics are rolling right now. They've won 6 in a row in 10 of their last 11 games. But I think they have a big secret. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum do not get enough credit for their defensive capabilities. It's always Derek White and Drew Holiday locking up on the perimeter. You get Kristaps Porzingis down low. But no, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, they are two wings that can really defend on top of everything they give you on the offensive end. Having both of these guys as the cornerstone pieces of your franchise that can go out and defend any wing in the league, with Jaylen Brown, who stands at 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, guarding Anthony Edwards, now he's guarding Kelly Oubre, really anybody they can switch on to, and that's what helps this defense be so elite. They've had a top 5 defense for the last 3 or 4 years now, and there he is guarding Tyrese Maxey. Not an easy assignment whatsoever, sticks with him, flips the hips, really just great defense, uses that wingspan to get a piece of it. Now he's switching on to Pascal Siakam, who is a bigger post compared to like a Maxey, who's a quick guard, and he's still clamping him up. And Pascal's 6'8", 6'9". That's not an easy assignment for him. It's just elite defense, and then right here kind of just baits John Conchar into the layup there. Elite athlete, can go up and get it, and like we said, he's got that 7-foot wingspan, so a +6 wingspan, which allows him to really affect shots at the rim and block shots at the rim as well. And also him being able to switch out and guard like a Jaren Jackson Jr. allows Porzingis to be the free safety and to roam over and get rebounds and provide rim protection in cases like that. Here's a pretty cool example where you got both of them at the top of the key. Tatum forces Franz Wagner to put it behind his back, and here comes Jaylen Brown from the other side, coming off of Cole Anthony to get the steal. Beautiful basketball right there, and then sticking with one of the more athletic guards in the league in Zach LaVine, and gets the block, and then just the anticipation right here. Thank you, Pat Bev. We're going the other way, and it's showtime. And then, he's obviously elite on the offensive end of the ball, right? He was the finals MVP for a reason, averaging 23 points a game this year to go with 6 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.2 steals, while playing about 35 minutes a game. And he is obviously at his best when he gets downhill. Both him and Tatum are both elite when they get downhill. I don't like when they start to settle for outside jump shots, but they do it a lot. But like I said, Jaylen Brown, pretty much unstoppable when he's going downhill. 46% from the field, 32% from 3. I should say he's unstoppable when he's hot going downhill. Last year he shot 50% from the field and 35% from 3. So little bit of a fall off, but he's a much improved passer, and that's something I've noticed out of both Jaylen and Jayson this year. Both of them are much better facilitating the ball, especially with Jayson Tatum seeing a lot more double and triple teams compared to the previous seasons. And then here he is at his best getting downhill. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't want any of that. He's just going up over him and getting the dunk, and then this is all over Miles Turner. Goodness gracious, that's what they call a facial, ladies and gentlemen. No pause. Now for the other Jay and Jayson Tatum, taking a look at some of his defensive highlights, he is pretty much the same, an ultra athletic wing that can switch out and guard. He's got a 6'11 wingspan on a 6'8", 6'9 frame, so he can guard even bigger players. He can also switch out onto guards. He's got great mobility for a guy his size, and then he can also take on like an Evan Mobley in the post. I think he can truly guard 1 through 5, and that is a very unique ability, but a very valued ability in the modern NBA. And to have him as the cornerstone piece of your franchise is huge. Give me that, right? Reading this pick and roll beautifully. Okoro dives right to the rim. Darius Garland finds him, and great rotation by Jayson Tatum, reading that and getting out in transition. Now switching on to Donovan Mitchell. Great recovery, going to beat it off the glass, and Al Horford comes to get it, so they're going out in transition once again, and then switching on to a guy like PJ Washington, who's more his size. He can still handle him in the post. Same thing with Bam Adebayo. He can still take care of him in the post, and Porzingis can play free safety. Now this is a fantastic job, fighting over the top of the screen and playing trail coverage against Caleb Martin here. Al Horford, 108, so not exactly the quickest guy in the world. So Tatum does a fantastic job of taking care of this pull-up jumper by Caleb Martin. And then obviously offensively, he is the engine for this Celtics team. He averages just over 26.5 points a game, 8.7 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 1.2 steals a night in like 36 minutes per game. He also is a more than willing passer. Like we talked about with Jaylen Brown, he's a good enough passer right there to Peyton Pritchard. not exactly the hardest pass in the world, but both of them have been very much improved passing the ball, as well as very underrated defensively. Now here he is coming off the pick and roll, attacking Jericho Sims, getting downhill. Sims was way too worried about the Spanish pick and roll action with Sam Hauser coming up to set the ball screen that he didn't even notice, and Tatum just pulls up over the top. This is what we call abuse right here. He is just bullying Jericho Sims in the pick and roll. His pick and roll coverage is not good in this game. Death taxes, and Jayson Tatum is going to take the pull-up three over the big man. It's going to happen. It's absolutely guaranteed. And then McCall Bridges switches onto him, no problem. We're still going to knock it down on his head. This is an extremely tough shot, and he gets it to go. Now, like I said, his three-point percentage is not where I'd like it to be for the volume that he takes. I'd like to see him get downhill more, but whatever. Analytics nerds argue me in the comments all day long. With that being said, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. Now, let's continue on looking at this Celtics team, and we take a look at Kristaps Porzingis, who on the year is averaging about 19.2 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.6 blocks in 29 minutes per game, while shooting 48% from the field and 40% from 3 on 6 attempts. He's a great rim protector and is, without a doubt, the best rim protector on the Celtics team. They have Cornette as well, but he's definitely the guy when it comes to rim protection. I called Cornette a Walmart Kristaps Porzingis, and somebody got mad at me in the comments in the last video, so we won't call him that anymore. But Porzingis is just huge for this team. I think he's the X factor, but I thought that last year and they went out and won it without him pretty much. He is special, especially when he can be a walking mismatch, and then you get Zubac out here on the perimeter trying to guard him. Good night. I mean, just go ahead and take the ball out of bounds, right? This whole starting five is so elite offensively and defensively for the Celtics team. We haven't even talked about Derek White yet, who on the year averages just over 16 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1 steal, and 1.1 blocks. I would say he's the best role player in the NBA, but it feels a little bit disrespectful to call him a role player at this point. 45% shooting from the field, 39% from 3 on 5 attempts. The dude is ridiculous. He also plays some defense, right? We talked about how Drew and Derek White get all the credit for being elite defensive guards, and Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown don't get any credit. Well, it's because they are so good at what they do on the defensive side of the ball, and then Derek White does stuff like this on a nightly basis. Also, Drew Holiday, 11 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1 steal in 30 minutes per game. He is getting up there, and he is kind of falling off in terms of production on the offensive end of the ball, but I think he is, kind of coasting towards the playoffs. We're over 50 games into this season, almost at the 60-game mark. We'll let him coast, right? He won a championship last year. He can take care of his body before the playoffs come around. The efficiency is not good, but it'll be all right. And then you have the bench, like we talked about. Old man Al Horford. You got Peyton Pritchard, who actually is the 5th leading scorer now on this team. He overtook Drew Holiday for that spot. And then you also have Sam Hauser off the bench. But make no mistake about it, the bench mob is led by Peyton Pritchard. They also have guys like Luke Cornette and Amias Keita they can bring off the bench if they want, and Torrey Craig, who sometimes gets some PT, but I wouldn't be shocked if they are a little bit active on the buyout market. This is a team that maybe could use another piece, although if you don't make a move, I mean, obviously everybody is pretty much completely fine with it, right? You're running it back with the core that won this championship last year. All 9 guys that play were on the team last year when they won the championship, so I'd be completely fine if they don't go out and get somebody. If they do go get a veteran, maybe a shot maker off the bench would be cool, but I don't think you can really find one at this point. We'll see. I've seen Josh Richardson's name thrown around, maybe like another big with like a James Wiseman who is on the buyout market, but that wouldn't really make any sense. Honestly, if I'm Brad Stevens and company, I'd probably just stay put unless there's something you can't pass up on. With that being said, if you've made it this far to the video, obviously you like something, make sure to the like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you so much for watching. We're looking for about 300 likes on today's video. If you could help us out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.